Hello everyone. Today we're going to quickly go over the water cycle, okay? Which is basically the process of how the water on our planet moves around. So I'm going to go through it and draw on this diagram as I explain. So we're going to start by drawing a little sun in the top corner. Alright, the sun is a very important piece of this process. So now that we have our sun, what's going to happen is the sun is going to start to heat up all of the water in the oceans, and the lakes and the rivers, all of that water. And it's going to start to rise up into the atmosphere as water vapor, right? So now we have all of these little water droplets in more of a gaseous state, known as water vapor, in the atmosphere from all of these water sources. This process is known as evaporation. Right? So that's our first step. Next, what's going to happen is as the water vapor rises, it's going to cool and condense into tiny little water droplets. And this causes the water to turn into clouds. So this is how we get clouds. Right? Now this process of the water droplets cooling and condensing into clouds, that is known as condensation. So that's the next step. Now once all of this water has cooled and made clouds, these clouds are going to continue to grow in size. And when the water droplets get heavy enough, they're going to form huge clouds, much bigger clouds that are very heavy and dense, filled with water. Now eventually these clouds are not going to be able to hold all of this water, and they're going to burst and drop water back to the earth in the form of rain. We draw some little water droplets, maybe snow if it's cold, or sometimes even hail in terms of ice. So now, this is all falling back to the earth, right? So, this process, whether it's rain, snow, or hail, is known as precipitation. So there we go. There's our next step. And now, all of this water is going to collect into different sources as it hits the earth again. So we have our rain, ice, and our snow. And I've drawn little mountains here. It's going to collect into a river. Maybe this river is going to go back into a lake, or it's going to seep down into the groundwater, right? So now this process of all the water sorting itself into different sources, that process is known as collection. And then from here, we start the process all over again. And you can see that now the water is back in the lake. It's going to evaporate, condense into clouds, fall back to the earth as precipitation, and then collect into our rivers, lakes, groundwater, and oceans. And that's the water cycle. One final note, an additional way that the water can get into the atmosphere is actually through plants. Plants are going to kind of sweat because they need water, so they're going to kind of sweat some of their water out and up into the atmosphere. And just like evaporation, this is going to contribute to condensation in the clouds. And this process is known as transpiration. Okay? And that's pretty much it. That's everything you'll need to know about the water cycle. So now, I believe you guys should have a worksheet. You can get started on answering those questions based off today's lesson. All right, bye-bye.